body that God prepared for Jesus Christ was a body prepared for piercing. A body prepared to be pierced, nailed to the cross. So from the moment Jesus Christ put on that body, in the womb, I guess, is when that happened. From the moment he put on that body, the moment that God was manifest in the flesh, it was a body prepared to suffer and die for sinners. So the Lord was preparing Jesus Christ, even in the fact that he gave him a physical body and he had to walk in the flesh, knowing that at the end of that sojourn, he's going to be nailed to a cross. All of this why stick all of this in this chapter to tell us about our high priest? Because he's learning something. Listen to this. That life in the flesh, even for the Son of God himself, was a learning experience. Doesn't seem like there'd be anything for him to learn, but it says right there, he learned something. He learned obedience by the things which he suffered. In another passage in the gospel, it says that he grew in grace and wisdom. So how can one who was pure and perfect need to grow in any area of his life? But Jesus Christ himself, in preparation for his great ministry as our high priest, was learning and being prepared. Obviously, he's learning his compassion is going to be different after having suffered, right? So that process of God preparing his Son for his ministry as high priest, there's some lessons in there. You want to serve the Lord? You want to be involved in ministry? You want God to use you? You're expecting, some big promotion, some big, no. I think the way the Lord gets most of us ready for greater things in the ministry is by doing things that humble us and try us and test us and break us and cause us to cry, cause us even to despair of life itself. That's what Paul said. Paul said there was one point in his ministry when he was pressed beyond measure, bearing more than he thought he could ever bear, so much so that he even despaired of life. Why? The Bible tells us in that passage, so that he would learn not to trust in himself, but in God. What a way to learn. That's a rough lesson. That's a rough lesson where the Lord presses you down almost to the breaking point so that you learn something. I got to tell you, in my personal experience, I've seen it in my own life and in the life of a whole lot of men that I've watched that are in the ministry, men that I love and respect and look up to, how they went through real hardship, real tough times, unexplainably tough and difficult, and where I'm sure relatives and friends must have scratched their heads and said, it doesn't seem like God likes you very much. What did you do to make God so upset? Now, it wasn't that God was upset about anything. He was just getting a servant ready for a more effectual ministry, for perhaps to be used in a greater way. And we're talking about God getting his own Son ready for high priesthood. And in that chapter, it's talking about suffering, learning some things, and if the Son of God needed to go through a process like that, how about you and me? What about you and me? Whoa, man. You and I would need those things too.